Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video on the channel. So we're going to be looking over something we did around Christmas. So during Christmas time, we did a video based on fletching. Now what we'll fletch in the video will be onyx bolts, where we combined rune bolts and onyx bolts tips, and also hydrix bolts, where we're combining the ascension bolts as well as the hydrix bolt tips. Now something I kind of messed up with that video and didn't really highlight as well is what we're going to be going over in this video. And that is the importance and the upgrade, which is the Ranger's Workroom Tier 2. Now this is unlocked with one of the quests for Fortinthry, and is actually built during the Dead and Buried quest. So not too deep in the quest line, you're going to have access to this as well. And if you haven't completed the Fortinthry storyline, I would highly recommend you finish it anyway. Just because of the buffs in the fort are very significant now and really do benefit your skilling. So basically with the ability for Ranger's Workroom, once you've upgraded to Tier 2, it actually gives you a 1% chance to build an extra bundle of ammo. Now this is very similar to the buff you're going to get from the Range Cape, and also will tie in with the buff from the Brooch of the Gods, as well as the portable Fletcher, which you can have set up in the workroom as well. Now with all these buffs added together, this is what can lead you to making profit with things like onyx bolts and especially hydrix bolts. Now when we went through the best money making methods for March, it's actually to the point now where fletching onyx bolts is 80 mil profit per hour. Now similar to like some of the herb methods we discussed like sort of last month, you might not actually make profit from fletching the bolts themselves. That's not where you're going to be getting the profit from. The profit is from what you're saving or the extra ammo you're actually making. So we're going to do two tests, similar to how we did the video in December, where we're going to do 5,000 of each bolt. We'll check the price for each and sort of work out how much we make from each set as well. And that will really sort of signify the profit you're making is sheerly either from a little bit from making the actual bolts, or what it's mainly going to be, which is what you're saving or making extra due to things like the portable Fletcher, Brooch of the Gods, Fletching Cape, and as well as the Ranger's Workroom too. One thing to notice and one thing to point out with fletching as well, compared to things like smithing, herb lore, and crafting, where you can have the addition to the headgear for the skilling outfit, fletching don't actually have one. As far as I'm aware, if I'm wrong, please let me know, but looking through the wiki, there is no add-on to where you can have the ability to either save ammunition or actually make more when you're fletching as well. Now don't get me wrong, I don't think it's in dire need or it needs to be done. It's just quite weird that some skills are still missing out on a head-on addition. It really would make fletching considerably like stupid profit and stupid money. So I can see why it's not been brought in, but it's just weird how that's different compared to herb lore. In herb lore, the botanist add-on actually makes a significant impact on what you're going to be making as well. So this is where we're pretty much doing. We're going to crack it on World 84 because you will have the benefit of a portable Fletcher. And you'll have things like pulse cores, cinder cores, and all that good stuff as well. So we're just going to quickly make one set of each ammo. And again, this is a really good way to fletch, and a really AFK way to fletch as well. If you're looking to train your fletching levels, the fletching levels needed for both these bolts really aren't that high. So I believe for onyx bolts is something like 74? 73. So 73 is what's needed for the onyx tip bolts, which really isn't that hard of a requirement. Like, you can just buy some broad arrows or buy some other arrows as well and just get there. Especially if you've got a little bit of bonus XP or on a bonus XP live, you can really rack up to 73 quite quickly. Now, if you were doing this form of training, I would go up to the point you can do ascension bolts or ascendery bolts, which is level 80 because it can give you the ability to hop between the two on whichever one's making the most profits. Now, the reason these make profits is because of their out price. Their out price is pretty much a standalone reason why they make such good money. We're making extra, and anytime you get like an extra set of bolts or save a set of tips, you're pretty much saving 60k a pop. So it doesn't take long to rack up quite a decent amount of savings just from using things like the portable Fletcher. So just for profit sense, we are going to put in a set of 10. To make a set of bolts, you're actually going to be spending 70k, and the value of 10 onyx bolts is going to be 63k. So for every bolt you're making, you are actually losing 700 GP. But over the long run, because you're going to have so many things which are going to save you profit or save you resources, that's what's going to really sort of rack up over time. Now, in terms of the whole set of supplies, because we're going to do like a 5k set, it won't take me too long to fletch them, but I think it'd be a really good sample size to see how good we get in terms of procs. We're going to say 35.3 mil for the onyx bolts, and then for the ascension bolts as well, we are going to be roughly at a price of ascension bolts. So we're going to roughly be at 45.4 mil, and that is pretty good prices for both. Now you can see here, I'm getting pretty good XP. Admittedly, I've got double XP stored, so it's going to be double the XP of the actual fletching, but it's a 60 transaction sort of process. It's going to make you a lot of money, and it's also going to be really AFK as well. Now, I don't want to go over this method too much because we really did do a very good video in December highlights and everything. But the fact I forgot to have the upgrade for the Ranger's room means I missed out on quite a bit of profit. So it was a little bit off, and I wanted to signify, look, this is worth doing, A, for the quest full stop, like do your Fortinthry quests, they will benefit you hugely. But also, just by having this Ranger's workroom tier 2, you have the ability to make even more profit when fletching bolts. Now, fletching bolts is a very viable way for making GP and fletching XP at the same time. A lot of people will go straight for things like broad arrows and other stuff, but fletching bolts really do give you quite a bit of chance to make quite a big chunk of money. Diamond arrows used to be the one, but you do need a slightly higher fletching level, but diamond arrows really aren't the same since the Ranger's workroom kind of ruined it by being able to process them so quickly. But as you can see here, the chat is spammed with items which are being saved by either the portable Fletcher, Brooch for Guards, or occasionally you'll get the Fletcher's Cape or the Ranger's workroom as well. It really is sort of crazy how much this has an impact. And it's the new kind of skilling really of like the modern times, is that sometimes you're making money by what you save through scrolls, portables, and other buffs, rather than actually making profit from actually doing the skilling part of it. So yeah, so that's going to be pretty much the talking bits of the video. I'm going to go away and fletch these 10k bolts. Shouldn't take me too long. Fletching really is quite quick once you get to it. And as you can see here, Fletching skill cape has come in clutch. But yes, we're going to go and work through these bolts. Now we'll come back, we'll go through the price checks, see what is worthwhile and what is not worthwhile. It might be the case that Onyx bolts are really good, and Sentry bolts not as good. And again, we've talked about it in plenty of other guides and videos. Sometimes the lower tier resources make you more money because less people do it. So we're going to test margins. We're going to see what works. I'm actually not going to sell any of these. I'm going to throw them in my auto alka because I think I'm going to make a little bit more money that way. And yeah, so we'll wrap up at the end of the video when these are done, and we'll come back very shortly. So that is the end of that. And we actually ended up with more Sentry bolts than Onyx bolts, which is a bit weird, but again, it's all RNG. As you can see though, easily 1.5k extra of each bolt, which just shows you like the sheer amount of extra GP you're going to be making. So for the Onyx bolts, we made a total of 1510 extra, which is just under 10 mil. And for the Sentry bolts, we made 1780 extra, which was a total of 14 mil. So an awful lot of profit, and you can roughly do about 20-ish k bolts per hour if you really try hard. And so it's easy to see how you can make so much money. Don't get me wrong, with these Sentry bolts, I think we got very, very lucky with that as well. But that is like just a sheer profit involved. But don't forget, you do lose money making these. So all the Onyx bolts together was a price of 41 mil. And we bought those supplies for 35.6. So roughly 5.7 mil there. And then the Sentry bolts as well, once I throw all those in. Bought for a price of 45.4 mil. Basically made 10 mil on the Sentry bolts, which just going to show you just how good of a money-making method both fletching is, and especially with the upgrade of Ranger Workroom 2. It's just a little bit more on top of the things like Fletching Cape, the Brooch, and also the portables and all that good stuff as well. But really, if you've got the items around, definitely worthwhile going for this method for your fletching gains as well. Now, if you're looking at buying a Brooch, and if you have things like fletching still to get to 99, you can quite easily pay a Brooch off just by doing this method, and it's something I'd definitely look into because over the long play of your account, especially if you're looking at doing like considerable amounts of 99s, portable skills, 120s and all like that, a portable will pay for itself numerous times over if you do the correct skills and the correct methods as well. So definitely look into that. Yes, it's a massive outlay of GP to start with, but with a Brooch, you can definitely make that money back anyway. But for those looking to buy a Brooch, if you have bought one before and you find it's worthwhile, make sure to drop in the comments to let others know. It really is a worthwhile investment if you're looking to purchase one. But that's going to be the end of this episode. Again, it was a bit of a sort of an update episode of a guide we did in December. Didn't want to go too in depth of it because we basically did it in December anyway. But the Ranger's Workroom 2, which I didn't have in that video, really sort of is an upgrade and makes you even more money over the long run as well. So wanted to make sure you guys know that. Make sure you do all your Fortinthry upgrades because they are all beneficial in their own way. And Fortinthry really is a new skilling hub for RS3. With hopefully some more updates to come this year. After Warcraft, it's been very, very quiet, but hopefully we've got more updates planned for the Fort this year because it really is a good way of bringing an area for people to skill with anyway. But that's going to be the end of this video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Plenty more guides and content coming to the channel very soon. Thank you guys for the support. It's been really great the past week. We are back on track now, which I hope you guys are really happy about as much as I am. But once again, thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.